Hi, welcome to the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences Family Chats. We're so excited to have you and your chosen family joining us tonight. As we're getting started, we'd love to learn what you're most excited for about starting your undergraduate experience at UC Davis. Please share in the chats as you feel comfortable. And as people are sharing what they're excited for, we'd also like to know who's in our audience tonight. Please respond to the poll that's coming onto the screen to tell us if you're viewing the webinar as a student, a parent, a guest, or a friend. Awesome. So as people are responding to that poll, feel free to share if there's certain things you're most looking forward to about this school year starting at Davis. Whether that's a specific class you're taking. I remember when I was getting ready to start, I was most excited about decorating my dorm room and getting to meet the people that I would be spending the next couple of years with. All right. Well, feel free to keep sharing. Awesome how parents can be involved. Okay. Yeah, feel free to keep on sharing what you're looking forward to in the chat. It looks like most of our audience is students, so that's great. That will help us tailor a lot of our presentation to the undergraduate student experience. My name's Lane, and I serve as the Student Engagement Coordinator in undergraduate academic programs in the Dean's Office. Undergraduate academic programs is committed to holistic advising from your first year at UC Davis through the time that you graduate. We're committed to collaboration and inclusivity, and we believe that advising and building a network of support while you're at Davis is a critical piece of your college experience. We really hope that you get to know our awesome team of advisors as members of your own support network at UC Davis. We know that this transition to Davis may look different than you anticipated, and that you might be feeling excited, nervous, or just that you're having to make a lot of decisions and navigate a lot of uncertainties. When we started planning family chats, we wanted to focus on the connections that you can make as a new student that will make your experience at Davis especially valuable. So we've got some amazing campus presenters here today to share specific opportunities with you so that whether you're planning to live on campus, in Davis, or at home, you can make the most of the student services and opportunities available to you as a UC Davis student. We will not be discussing specific financial aid, housing updates, or the fall campus teaching plan, but we can definitely put the most recent updates and links in the chat so that you can get answers to those specific questions. What we are hoping to offer today are the resources that you can use to start getting connected to other students and building a network of support for your time at Davis. We really hope to provide you with some certainty as you begin envisioning what your fall quarter is going to look like. So before introducing our first presenters, I just want to let everyone know we will be using the question and answer function and we'll be hosting a Q&A at the end. So as our presenters are talking about their center or their resources on campus, if that prompts a question for you, feel free to type that into the Q&A and we'll come back to that towards the end of the webinar. So the first campus partnership that we'd like to highlight today are our career discovery groups, CDG. So CDG is a partnership between the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences and the Internship and Career Center. Students who participate in a career discovery group receive support with career exploration and planning right away, and you get to research an array of careers with mentors and start meeting other students with similar interests in a small group setting. So we have Emily and Destiny joining us to tell you more about career discovery groups, but to bring a little bit of Davis to your homes, we're going to talk about favorite spots on campus. So Emily and Destiny, come on up, and as you introduce yourselves, if you could just share what is your favorite place to spend time on campus?
Hi, I'm Emily. I am the lead CDG mentor. So I'm a graduate student and I work with undergraduate students in the CDG program and help them explore majors and careers. My favorite spot on campus is definitely the Arboretum.
Hello, my name is Destiny. I was a participant in the Career Discovery Group program last year. Yeah, last year was my freshman year. I'm a sophomore. My major is wildlife, fish, and conservation biology. One of my favorite spots on campus would be this little relaxation spot behind Hunt Hall. It has a bunch of trees and chairs and hammocks to just relax on. So yeah.
Awesome. And will you guys share a little bit more about career discovery groups and how new students can get involved and what that's all about?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start. Yeah, so I was the mentors are graduate students, and we get special training on like career development, and we work individually in groups of like 20 or 25 students. So each mentor has their own group of 20 or so students, and you get to work individually one-on-one with a graduate student mentor who will specifically help you, you know, explore majors, kind of adjust to the university, kind of think about what kind of career path you want to go into. And then you can also, there's also a huge focus on like developing a resume, cover letter, internship, you know, helping you apply to internships and stuff so that you're like, you have a step up ahead of a lot of the other freshmen. And it's, in addition to that though, I think what's like the most important part for, you know, what we're talking about here is like, it's a really, really like huge opportunity to build community. I just saw, I mean, it will be a little bit different for sure, but last year I just saw my students like instantaneously form like groups and really, really connect class. So, or like that first fall class. So it's a year-long program, but that first class, so you have for the freshmen, it's yeah, it's 3 quarters, but the first quarter is where you really like start building that community, and then the second quarter is where you really focus on the more of like the career specific, major specific topics, and like building your resume, your CV, helping you position yourself best to apply for internships and jobs and things like that. And it's like a course. You can sign up. You would sign up like through the regular course schedule builder system. So.
Yeah, so as Emily said, it's a 3-quarter class, but it's really easygoing class. It's only for like you meet a couple times a week, but I think it's really good. I found it really good because it helped me to know the resources on campus that are available. It helped me meet new students. It helped me learn more about careers that are that I might be interested in, help me look up. And as Emily also said, they help build a resume. I had no idea how to build a resume. So I think it's a really good program for freshmen to get into and involved in.
Cool. Do you guys know how students are put into a specific career discovery group? Are they going to be grouped with students in the same major or by students with similar interests, or how do they kind of get organized?
Yeah, so you can group them. You can be grouped with students with a similar major. So for example, we have like a couple of animal science and animal biology sections, and so those are popular majors. So we always have a couple sections that are pretty much exclusively dedicated to those kind of majors. Also one for managerial economics, you know, although last year when I was a mentor, I led an exploratory section. So you can also say that you're like, even if you have a major coming in, like you can, if you're like more open to kind of thinking about that, or if you don't have a major coming in and you really want to like just explore all these different options, like I thought that was particularly fun as a mentor. And so, yeah, so you can do either specific by major or you can do an exploratory section.
Awesome. So it sounds like it's a really good way for freshmen to start meeting other people, but also to help them pick a major if they're exploratory, or start thinking about internships and careers down the road.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, thank you, Emily and Destiny. And remember, if you all have any more questions about career discovery groups that have come up as Emily and Destiny were talking, just throw those into the Q&A and we will bring them back to talk more later. Our next campus partner is the Aggie Compass Basic Needs Center. So the Aggie Compass is a comfortable space for students to build community and learn about basic needs resources. They've been instrumental in responding to and sharing resources with students who have faced financial challenges or food and housing insecurity during this time. And it's a great support for students in our community. So here to share today, we have Nubia and Faith. But before they get started, we know you might not all be on campus yet, but when you get here, one of the really important things about college is where you're going to eat, where the good food's at. So Faith and Nubia, if you guys can share with what your recommendations would be for good eating in Davis or on campus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nubia. I'm a basic needs coordinator at the Aggie Compass. We're located in the Memorial Union. Our center works or serves as a hub for basic needs resources on campus. We provide a number of services, but for the services that we don't offer, we do like to give a warm handoff to another center or organization on campus that can assist you with your needs. And as far as the food on campus, that's a good question. I'm gonna go with a drink. I love getting tea, especially mixed tea drinks at the Coho.
Is that like with boba or plain?
I haven't had any boba ones, but the plain ones are good.
And for me, any restaurant downtown works for me. But I have to say, I've been at home for the past since COVID started, and I do miss the bagel at the Coho. No one makes it like that. So I really do miss that.
Great, thank you. I did see too that the Basic Needs Center recently launched a remote help desk. Do you guys have any more information about that or how students can connect with the Basic Needs Center if they're not coming to campus this fall?
Sure. Once fall quarter begins, towards the end of this month, our virtual front desk, we're calling it, will be back up and running. It'll be staffed by an admin assistant person and our lovely student staff members. This is all going to be run through Zoom. So if you have a Zoom account, and even if you don't, you can connect with us through there. We will also have our telephone lines open if you'd like to give us a call and ask questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nubia and Faith. We just got a little update, so I'll just share with you all. If you are trying to register in a career discovery group and it's the section that you want is full, you can get on the wait list and let your advisor know, and we will be making every effort to create sections. We want to make sure that any student who wants to take advantage of career discovery groups can get enrolled this fall. All right, so I'm going to move on to our third campus presenter. So attending UC Davis is about more than just the 2 to 4 years that you'll spend earning a degree. It's about more than the classes. A huge part is the relationships that you'll build while you're here and the connections that you'll have to industry partners that have some lifelong benefits. So here to share more about the alumni network at UC Davis, we have Clarissa. And Clarissa, before you get started, we'd love to share what is your favorite activity to do in Davis with your student?
Hello, everyone. Well, welcome to Aggie's family. Whether you're a parent or a student, on behalf of the Aggie Parents and Family Association, I want to give you a warm welcome. My favorite spot to answer Elaine's question, you know, there are so many. I mean, some of them are answered. It's an arboretum. We often take stroke and walk down. But one of my most favorite ones is unforgettable and I often miss a lot, which is not really accessible as the saying, is the New Latitude. It's a, I think some of the seniors don't even have not visited yet. But the Latitude is an international dining hall. It has 4 regions. It has Asian, European, Middle East, and then Latin America. So every day the menu is so different. And I remember every time when we visit on campus, that was the favorite spot since January when it opened. So I now miss it a lot because right now it's just to go. It's not all you can eat, which is good for the weight management. But that's kind of like my favorite spot to answer Lane's question. Today I do have a presentation, a short one for you. And if you need to get a copy of it, but mainly this, this PPT is talking about where do you need to get access to in terms of the Aggie parents. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, so there under the Aggie parents, there's the One Aggie network. And with that, you are accessing to the current student, current parent, versus also the future graduate alumni that you can connect under this One Aggie network. And this is a great resource to get into. A school as big as UC Davis, a lot of times you are lost when you come in. You're like a little fish swimming in the ocean and you're trying to figure out which direction it is to go. This is a great place to start, whether you're a student or a parent, kind of give you an understanding of, what's going on in terms of activities. There's upcoming events. There's even webinars. Of course, because of COVID, a lot of the activities and events have been changed into webinar function or cancel or postpone until next year. But disregard of what they are offering currently, I still find it very interesting. For example, like the summer and fall activities, you're looking at upcoming, there's virtual parents panels. They have them in bilingual, book fairs, and then all these great receptionists that you can get to meet some of these people, or whether it's in person or webinar, you'll be notified. In the winter and springtime, especially one of the biggest one, which I haven't had a chance to attend, that was gonna be my event that I enjoyed the most with my student, was the picnic day, the family picnic day. It usually happens in the middle of April. So that's an event where there's lots of parades, races, dance, and marching bands are out. That's just a day of fun, and everyone can engage and enjoy and bring lots of smile, have lots of food, and enjoys a nice sun out during April season. Okay. I also want to mention briefly about, I think one of the parents asked about how can I be involved as a parent? If you join the Aggie Parents and Family Association, you can be part of the parent involvement. We also have a council, which I'm part of, and you can apply after your first year as a parent, because you kind of need the first year to get familiar with, what's going on, what's happening with my student, what are the connections I need to set, what are some of the resources I need to set up. So Aggie Parents and Family Association would be a great opportunity for you to connect. There's a membership I like to mention. If you join just the parent only, it's $120 for all 4 years for 1 or 2 members. And there's a great one, which is the $500 for both students and parent, and it covers the entire 4 years. It gives you all kinds of discounts. So if parents are visiting and you want to go to downtown Davis to eat, this will be a great place to go. And the mission of the Aggie Parent Council is really to, the council strives to provide parents with information and resources, effective communication, outreach opportunities, and volunteer experiences. So during, like the picnic day, the parents can come and be involved and volunteer and be part of like a committee to help set up or sell food or host something. It's something really fun that happens. And they also have webinars from the Career Center. There's also Alumni Association. I've seen one that was meeting in Singapore. As far as that, people who are from Singapore originally, now they graduate, they become part of the alumni, they still make a connection. And that is really helpful future connection, because not only you want to have a 4 years of enriched study experience, but you want to carry that forward into, okay, how can I connect further into my career building for the future years? So these are great resources to go into. One video that you can also look at, this was from our Aggie Parents Council, 3 members. They talk about their out-of-state experience, you know, what were some of their concerns as an out-of-state parent. And some of them are not that far away. Some of them are like all the way out in DC. So they have a great presentation in this video here. At the bottom of this page, there's resources by the year. So if you're coming in as a first year, you can click into that first year link, and you can see there's a welcome. There's all these kind of links that you can get into the academic calendar. So instead of searching, looking everywhere, here you are. You have a platform that set you up, and you can start from here. For parents, there's also two Facebook books that you can look at and get more information. The left one, the one that's the parent network, it's more like it for an overall. And the one to the right, the Parent UC Davis Parent Forum, is more like for the first year. So the hottest topic in that Parent Forum this entire week is talking about housing, you know, about dormitories. So I would encourage you to join any one of these. They are by acceptance only, so make sure you just fill out the 3 questionnaire or 2 questionnaire that's required, and then you're in. Okay, and I think out the time that I have, that's all I have for today. So I want to encourage you to join the Aggie Parents and Family Association. And once again, welcome to UC Davis. Back to you, our dear host.
Awesome. Thank you, Clarissa. So I know that most of you in the audience tonight are students, but if you have parents that are just a little bit, your parents are guardians or just people in your life who care about you, who want to know more about what's going on campus, when are good times to come visit you, what are the events and activities where they can be a part of the Davis community, that Parent and Family Alumni Association is a great way for them to connect. And joining some of those groups on Facebook is just one more place. I know you're getting a lot of emails and campus updates right now, and it can be hard to stay on top of what's the most current information. But sometimes just being a part of even an online community where people are talking about what's the most pressing issue right now can kind of help you know what to be looking out for and thinking about. So thank you so much to our campus partners who have shared some great resources for new students. We're about to get started with our Q&A, but I wanted to just share that we also have, in addition to the panelists who have talked, we have one of our Dean's Office academic advisors, Honora. Hi, Honora. And we have one of our peer advisors, Claire. Hi, Claire. So if you have more specific questions about advising, feel free to share those in the Q&A, and we've got people on deck to answer. So I'd like to introduce my colleague Ruby, who serves as our college outreach and recruitment coordinator. You may have seen her lovely face at a college fair in the past. And Ruby, many of us have developed new hobbies this year. We've had a lot more time on our hands. What is your new hobby?
This is my favorite question, and I'm very excited to share. My new hobby is very on brand with the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. It is taking care of plants. This is one of them. There's one behind me. But yeah, I think, you know, quarantine is the pandemic is allowing for some hobbies, and that's one of the ones that has been fulfilling for me. So like Lane said, my name is Ruby. I'm the outreach coordinator. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I'm excited to get us started on the Q&A, but before I do, I just want to give a shout out to Bella. Bella from Indonesia, you are a human development major. That was my major in undergrad, and I loved it. I loved seeing all of your answers to the different majors. We are so excited to host you all virtually or on campus, and hope that we are able to answer some questions for you. So our panelists today are from a couple of different organizations on campus. I'm going to bring them back up. So just to refresh, we have folks from our career discovery group. So Destiny and Emily, if you can come on back up. We have folks from our Aggie Compass, Nubia and Faith, and then we also have Clarissa from our Parent and Family Association. And then we have Honora from our Dean's Office as an academic advisor. Awesome. So to kick off, we had a couple of questions that you all submitted during the registration. And so the panelists, I am going to ask the students first. One of the questions that we were asked was, for those of us who can't dorm this year, what are your suggestions on how we could meet with other Aggies? And I'm going to kick it off with Faith, and then I'll go to Destiny, and then Claire, I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot and bring you back up. There we go. Yay. All right, go ahead, Faith.
Yeah, so I would say one of the best ways to reach out to your peers would be through social media, Instagram, Facebook. I do know on Facebook there is like different groups you can join. I know there's like one for class of 2024, I think is the new incoming class. So those are some good places to join. If you go on Facebook also, the different clubs will have like private pages that you can join, because there's one for pre-meds, there's one for pre-laws. All you just have to type in UC Davis, whatever, and to pop up, and that's one great way. Another way to join would be through Aggie Life. You can just go on Aggie Life, and there's a bunch of like different clubs and organizations you can reach out to, and from there you can do some Zoom sessions, info sessions, and stuff like that. But I would advise social media and Facebook groups are a good way to go.
Yeah, so like Faith said, social media is a great way to connect with other students. Another way to connect with other students, I think, is through classes. In the classes, there's like, there's a chance that your teacher might have you talk in small groups, especially if it's a smaller class. If not, if you see that there's someone that's asking a lot of good questions, then you can just write to them privately on Zoom or whatever the thing that they're using is for class. Or even on Canvas, you can connect through students, through other classmates there. So I think also getting to communicate just through classmates is a good way.
Yeah, I'll second both of those answers. I know that social media groups are nice, especially because they can be a little bit more specific. So like the groups that were mentioned, like pre-health or class of 2024, whatever class you're going into, those can be nice to connect to people who are who have similarities to you. But like Destiny was mentioning about reaching out to people in classes, I know in my spring quarter, you can kind of see people who are participating a lot and people who are asking questions. And it wasn't until I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before finals that I finally got connected with some of my classmates, and we started doing some of our worksheets together. And it was so helpful to study with others, and I'm really sad that I didn't reach out to them before that. So lesson learned, but I will pass that on to you. Don't be shy to reach out to other students in your class. It's different, but you can still make connections like this. And then when we finally all get back to campus, you'll even meet them in person, and that'll be great. But definitely reach out, form your study groups, and it makes it a lot easier when you can work on things with other people. And don't do what I did, and don't wait until this 2 or 3 weeks before finals.
Awesome, thank you so much. And then I'm going to also have Claire drop in a link to the Aggie ambassadors, as well as our manners groups on campus. These are great ways to get involved and stay connected as well. Do any of our other panelists have tips on how to get connected before we move on to the next question? Lane, I saw your hand.
I was just gonna plug joining a student club or organization, and one place that a lot of those clubs and orgs will be featured is at Davis Fest. So when you do your Aggie orientation, you'll see Davis Fest in the schedule. I believe it's on Monday. Don't pin me down on the date because I don't have it in front of me, but it's one of the later events during orientation, and it's gonna be on Zoom, but it'll be set up kind of like a fair where you can go to different Zoom breakout rooms. And our college will be featuring all the different ways that you can get involved, from student employment to clubs and orgs to service trips. So that's a great way to meet students too.
Awesome. Thank you, Lane. Anyone else have anything to add? Or are we good to move on? Good to move on. Okay, awesome. This question is for Emily. Emily, what is the difference between a first-year seminar and a career discovery group?
So I would say just the career discovery group is basically a specific type of first year seminar. You know, it's not technically, it's just it's a career specific first year seminar course.
Have any of our students taken a first year seminar? Destiny, can you talk a little bit about the difference, and Claire, if you want to, the difference between career discovery groups for you and then a first year seminar?
Sure. So first year seminars, they actually are just 1 quarter. You can sometimes find some that might pertain to your major, but most of them are just like fun classes. I know a first year seminar that I took was mainly just about meditation, and we just met like once a week. So it's a pretty also low-key class, but the career discovery groups mostly just focuses on like professionality and just getting resumes and stuff, whereas the first year seminars don't.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Destiny. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Claire.
I took a first year seminar on diabetes. So that was more related to my major, but like Destiny was saying, a first year seminar can be about a specific topic like diabetes, or like celebrities in movies, or tea. Like there's so many different first year seminars, whereas CDG is more about developing career skill or job skills, like making your resume, and even just discovering different careers that you may not even know about or have ever heard about. So that's kind of the difference, I would say.
Awesome. Thank you, Claire. We're going to switch gears a little bit, and this question was also submitted in the registration, and this is for Faith and Nubia. Can you talk a little bit about the Fruit and Veggie Up program? And then a follow-up to that as well, can you also talk a little bit about the CalFresh program? And I will throw it over to Nubia first, and then Faith, you can fill in.
Sounds good. So I'll start with the Fruit and Veggie Up program. Our center operates a Fruit and Veggie Up program. It's a distribution of fresh produce that's organic usually, and also usually locally grown. We collaborate with farms to pick up their leftover fruit and vegetables, but sometimes it's earmarked for us, sometimes it's not leftover. And then we take these items and we redistribute them to students in need on campus for free. This program usually distributes 1 or 2 times a week. We'll have to see how this goes during fall quarter with campus restrictions and whatnot. But that's our Fruit and Veggie Up program. Do you have anything to add about that, Faith?
I just want to say, I mean, you covered everything, but this is a very good program that almost every student at the AV student utilize. It's very open, it's free, it's open to the public, and it's honestly really good produce. I do take some myself too, and it's good stuff. It's cheap, free, save money.
Yeah, mentioning that it was cheap and free a couple of times, it's a great way to supplement a smaller student budget, which is usually the case for students. Our other program is CalFresh. We are contracted with a state organization. We specially train student assistants to help other students who are eligible for CalFresh to complete the application and enroll in the program. And for those of you that may not know, CalFresh is a federally funded, state-operated program that disperses up to $194 to students and others in need. But there is an application process that needs to be completed, and that's what we help with. Faith, anything I left out? Cool. All right, back to you, Ruby.
Awesome, thank you so much. So we have a question in the chat here. And Clarissa, I am going to pass this one off to you. And then Honora, if you want to fill in with things that you know, or Lane, if you want to fill in as well, please feel free to jump in. Is orientation for parents to attend as well? Will it cover which bank accounts, etc., are open being an international student?
Yes, orientation, it's divided up into student and parent track. So of the 2 days that we attended last year, the parent portion was fulfilled with a lot of activities, a lot of workshops, and you can pick and choose which one you want to attend. And the offices of finance, administrator, registration, different colleges, they'll come in and present under the College of Agriculture. So basically, for those 2 days, you can really learn quite a bit and ask in-depth questions of things that you usually cannot find on the website. Or if you simply don't want to spend so much time reading everything and try to memorize everything, because it could be overwhelming. UC Davis is a really big school. I went to Cal years ago, and I don't remember being so internet informational fulfilled back then, because it wasn't a thing. But now, you know, you can pretty much find answers on the internet. But to have be able to attend an orientation such as the parent and student orientation, it does help, because then you are hearing other parents asking questions. So one of the things they did say that parent, make sure you link your financial account. That's a very important thing, and pay the tuition on time. So that's one thing that was my takeaway. You know, right away that evening I linked the account with my student, and the UC Davis, I log in, register as a authorized user. Okay, any other questions, or maybe other can help me answer this part as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass it off to Honora. Honora has a little bit more information.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ruby. It's nice to be a part of this community this evening. So orientation for students and their family members is really important, in my opinion, to start off the year on a positive note. We're going to pop in the orientation link for family members specifically. We want to let you know that there is an interest form on that website, and we will send, the orientation team plans on sending a webinar registration to those that are interested. And so as a former student, myself, my dad did go to orientation with me, and even though he had his own experience here and there with classes, he found that to be super helpful, and it was a great way for us to continue to develop our relationship as we were transitioning forward. So definitely please check out the website. Please make sure that if you do have time, we know that there's a lot going on, but if you do have time, it will certainly be a positive experience for you and your family member.
Thanks, Nora. And then we're going to switch back to CDG a little bit. We do have a couple of open questions on here about CDG. So there are a couple of questions about if CDG is taken in their first quarter, do they have to sign up for the class the rest of the quarters, and or can they join in winter quarter? So I'm going to start off with Emily and then pass it off to Destiny. Emily?
Yeah, so it's really, really encouraged that you do the whole year, fall, winter, and spring. And we don't let you sign up. There's another question, like, can you sign up just in the winter also? So we don't let you do that. If you know, we really, really encourage you to stay the whole time, but you're not required to sign up for winter if you sign up for spring or for fall. But you can't sign up for winter unless you sign up for fall. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like starting in fall, actually, is more beneficial because you do get to know the students during fall. And you do get all that information. You get to know about the resources. And yeah, as Emily said, you can't get the code to join in winter or spring quarter after fall quarter. So.
And then another quick question for our CDG panelists before you mute. So Emily had said CDGs are by major, but when looking into them on Schedule Builder and the link provided, it just says that they are for CA&ES students only. Emily, can you clarify how students would know to register?
Yeah, so that was actually my bad. I was just talking about last year and I had forgotten we changed it this year. So it's not by major anymore. So it's just, but it is specific to the College of Ag and Environmental Sciences, but it's not my major anymore. So you can, any of those sections should work. And then if you can't get in, there's a wait list or something, you can ask your academic advisor. I think that was mentioned already, but just to clarify that.
Awesome, thank you, Emily. And if you, Claire can post this in the chat, but if you scroll up, there was a little bit of information, or Elaine can post this in the chat, shared about if the section that you're hoping to get into is full, we are going to try our best to accommodate everyone. So there will, I'll have Lane or Claire drop that in the chat. And then the other thing as well about CDG is that there are EOP specific sections, so you will see those, but one of the great opportunities that's a byproduct of CDG is building community in a smaller environment with folks and students from across various majors. So I think it'll be a great experience to kind of learn and grow in that way as well. This question is going to be for Honora. When do classes start and are classes online?
Well, classes, as far as I know, for the most part, and students chime in, we will all be together online. One of my recommendations that I have made as I've been meeting with students in the last couple of weeks is to start checking your campus website to see if your instructor has started to update the class website, where you'll be able to find really good information about what to expect as a student. You know, what time will these classes be online? What kinds of assignments will you have? And then, of course, one of the things that I think is most important too, next to the class times, is office hours and being able to connect one-on-one with your faculty members that are teaching these classes. I believe that classes start on September 30th, but I have been so day-to-day and focusing my day-to-day piece. So if I mess that date up, please, students, chime in. But I believe we start on September 30th. So we get the beautiful start of ending September and welcoming a new month in October, with fall being a nice new season for all of us and hopefully cooler.
Awesome, thank you, Honora. And then I'm gonna ask the students to chime in about your experience being virtual. Like if you can share, I'm gonna start with Faith and go to Claire and then Destiny. If you can share your experience about registering for classes and navigating the remote environment as you prepare for fall. So Faith.
Yeah, so registering for classes is actually not that bad, as people tend to make it sound like it's a Hunger Games zone out here. It's not. It's not that bad. It's actually pretty easy, as long as you talk to your advisor beforehand to figure out what classes you're taking. Especially if you're going to, like, you know, a professional school after college. I do recommend y'all talking to your advisor so you're on track for graduation, and also like fulfilling all your prerequisites and requirements to go further in life. Registering for classes is not bad. You have 2 pass times. You have pass 1 where everyone signs up registers. If you miss that, we do have kind of like open registration. And if you do miss that, we also have pass 2 where you can get to wait list for classes and also take more than 18 units, I believe. So you get plenty of time to register for your classes before that. And also, if you find yourself in a situation where you're waitlisted, you can always email your professors, and they're more than likely to, you know, give you a PTA, I think it's called, PTA code to register you into the class. So it's all gonna be fine at the end of the day. You're gonna get your class. So in terms of online class, kind of have mixed feelings about it. I like it because I get to be on my own, schedule. I get to plan what I'm doing each day. It's like I pretty much run my day. No distractions, and because I get distracted really easy. So I like how it's just like, oh, now you have no excuse but to do your work. But I actually do miss the interaction. I do miss my the professors, student interaction. I do miss going to work, working with my workers, my bosses. I just miss like the human interaction. It's just me and my family. That could get annoying sometimes, but I just miss interaction in general. But online classes is it's easy to navigate once you get the hang of it. It's just logging into Zoom. Sometimes your classes are pre-recorded, so it's good because you can go back, slow down, fast forward, take notes so you don't feel rushed. There's also office hours still going on. It's just through Zoom where you can meet with your professor one-on-one. Which is also good because you can meet on a Sunday, via Zoom, where in person that would probably be like, oh, I'm off Saturdays and Sundays, but now, you can meet virtually, which is also better. There's also different resources out there for like tutoring. We have the AATC, which I utilize a lot because it saved my life. Because sometimes I'd be lost in class and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I just make an appointment, and they're like students who tutor students. And it makes everything so easy for me. And again, everything is through Zoom. It's just, sometimes you have like technology difficulties or like your Wi-Fi shutting down. But besides that, and besides the normal interaction with my professors and students, I don't have any bad feelings about online school. Although I do want things to go back to normal though, because this is crazy.
Yeah, so online school definitely was very different in the spring, but some things that helped me were to kind of set a schedule for myself, because when classes are pre-recorded, it's very easy to just say, okay, I'm just gonna, like, I know I have to do this and it's in the back of your mind, but you kind of just never get to it. And then maybe like 2 or 3 weeks have gone by and you still haven't watched the lectures and you have a test coming up. And that's way too easy to do when they're pre-recorded and you don't have to be there at a certain time. So I have a schedule for myself every week that, even though that class is pre-recorded, I watch it at the same time every week as if it was live. That helps me out a lot. Also, what helped me out in the spring was having a study space, so that I'm not in my bed or, at the, I don't know, on my couch, lounging, because it's not, to me, it wasn't conducive to my best learning. So I set up a desk. I had, all my school stuff there. And then I knew when I was at my desk that it was school time, and that when I was on the couch, it was not school time. And that helped me out a lot. And then also getting ready in the morning, putting on clothes that weren't necessarily pajamas or sweats, because it helped me feel like I was just being more productive. And those things, sometimes it's just kind of a mind thing. It's just to get into the right mindset, and that really makes a huge difference, because it is different and it is a little weird and it is something to get used to. And if you feel like you are having a hard time with online school, trust me, you're not alone. And who knows, you may thrive with online school. I think we're all kind of doing it together, trying to get through it. And like we mentioned earlier, feel free to reach out to peers in your class. You're all going through the same thing. So you might have similar feelings and they might have similar experience to you, and it might be good to get to relate to people. Well, I dropped the link to the tutoring and academic assistance center. And if you are having a rough time with online schooling and getting used to everything, I'm also going to drop the link to student health and counseling, because I think it's always good to reach out when you need it, and that resource is there for you as well. So don't be afraid to use it. And Destiny, I'll let you share about your experience.
Yeah, so my online experience, I sort of liked it, but I sort of didn't. Some of the teachers are not as lenient as other teachers, which can be a problem, but I think it's also really good to talk to your professors. Just let them know what's going on if you're struggling. if you feel like there's not something right, because you know they only know so much. They're not seeing the students as much. And make sure you know whether or not your classes will be pre-recorded or not. Usually the teachers say on like the first day, or they put it on their syllabus. But yeah, like Claire said, get into the right mindset. Practice time management. I think those are all like just things I recommend for online schooling.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I hope that was good, because these are all golden nuggets from students that have gone through the spring virtual experience, are going through the virtual experience of registering. So I really appreciate you all sharing your experiences. We're coming up on time, but we do want to address the My Bill financial aid related questions. So I'm actually going to pass off the two My Bill questions to Lane. Lane, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're getting a couple questions about tuition and financial aid, and I wanted to just share a link in the chat right now. Campus put out a really helpful undergraduate FAQ, and they have everything broken into categories, so you can look at questions about student health, classes and instruction. They do have a whole category on financial aid, tuition, and work study, and another category on housing and dining. So that's a great way if you have questions after tonight's event to keep, oops, I sent that to just Ruby, to keep getting some of the answers to those questions. And I love that Claire mentioned student health and counseling services. I think that's really a silver lining, that all of the services that we offer on campus are being offered and being done so remotely, which is different, but it does make some of those appointments really accessible. And so if there's something going on, don't hesitate to schedule an online appointment. Another great resource that, Claire, if you could throw the Center for Success Coaching and Learning Strategies in the chat. I think if you're worried about just time management in a virtual setting, and how to adapt your study habits from high school to college, that's a great office to connect with. And they also do one-on-one or group virtual coaching. So that's it from me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lane. So because we are almost at time, we know this was just a snippet of the information that you're probably trying to gather, but we hope it was useful. We do want to thank all of our panelists for taking the time to join us and answering questions today, especially it being an evening event. And then we want to thank all of our attendees for taking the time to join us as well and asking questions. There are a couple of questions that are left. There's one or two questions that are left in the Q&A, and our panelists will be typing out responses to those. So after we conclude, if you want to stay and read those responses, you're more than welcome to. And on behalf of all the panelists in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, we just want to say that though this may not be how you envisioned your college experience, we hope that you and your loved ones found value in seeing a snippet of the support you have access to in our college. And we're excited to welcome you into the Aggie family, and we'll continue to do our best to help you make the most of your first year experience from near or afar. Claire is going to go ahead and drop some ways to stay connected and on social accounts, but we highly, highly recommend that you check your UC Davis email regularly, often, because from now all the way through beginning of fall, that is going to be one of the main ways we communicate with you. That's pretty much all from me.
There's
Anything
a bunch of links in the chat right now, so we'll leave that up for a few minutes. Go ahead and scroll through and copy those down and paste them onto a Word doc or a Google Doc so you have quick, easy access. And just remember, again, we do work in the dean's office. We've got a team of great academic advisors, so if you ever have questions about your academic plan, don't forget to schedule an appointment with your advisor. They're definitely a great place to start, and they can direct you to any other resource on campus.
So with that being said, on behalf of the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, welcome to the Aggie family, and have a great rest of your evening. Bye, everyone.